Okay, we're looking at this polynomial because I want to talk about completing the square, because you're going to have to do it on the test. And this is also a parabola, right? Because as I look, I see just an x squared, but no y squareds in there, so it's the only possibility has to be a parabola. And I kind of look at how to factor something that doesn't look factorable, so I'll show you that as well. Okay, so remember, the reason why I want to complete the square is like you're trying to make a perfect square, a perfect trinomial square that can factor into binomial square. Let's look at x plus 6 squared. That really means x plus 6 times x plus 6. And if you FOIL that out, right, x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 36. And then add them to x squared plus 12x plus 36. Now that's a trinomial square, binomial square. This is where we're going to start. This is what we're going to add excuse me, and this is where we're going to go. So when I start here and I don't have that 36, it's not there, right? How do I get it? Well, it's half of this number, and then you square that product. And that's how you're going to get the number on the end. Because half of it, because there's two of them, right? And that's going to be the number that gets squared. 6 times 6 is 36. So half of 12 is 6, squared is 36. So you're just grabbing half of that middle term, squaring it, and adding it on. That's creating a trinomial square, which therefore factors into a binomial square. Now there are some tricky parts that we need to watch. One is that this leading coefficient is 1. If it's not, then we need to factor it out of these two and complete the square with the factor on the outside. That is usually done for ellipses and hyperbolas. Well, and it can be done for parabolas as well. But I'm just showing you the basic completing the square here. Okay, let's go now finish this problem here. I'm going to complete the square here. This material is going to be moved to the other side. X squared plus 6x equals, leave a space, 4y minus 1, right? Because I add a 4y and I subtract a 1. Add a 4y and subtract a 1. Okay, now here I'm just going to put a little parenthesis around that, and that's where I'm going to add in my third term to complete the trinomial square. It's going to be half of the 6 and then square it. Half of the 6 is 3, squared is 9. So I'm going to add a 9 there. Now I'm looking at what was the total amount that I added to the left side of the equation, because I need to balance it out. When you just start adding things, you need to balance it out on the right side, right? So I added 9, so I'm going to go ahead and add my 9 on the right. Remember, it's a scale. To maintain that equality, you got to do the same thing on each side, and I added 9, so I'm adding 9. Just a note, if there was a factor out there, you'd have to take that factor into consideration to what you were adding to the total left-hand side. They'd be multiplied together, right? Okay, so we don't have that here. We're going to continue down. We have x plus, now this is going to be factored into the binomial squared. What are we going to do? We have a plus 9. Well, what two numbers multiply to 9 that add up to 6? Well, it's that number right here. It's half of that inner side. It's that 3. So it makes it pretty easy there. It's always half of the middle, because that's the number we needed to make the 9, half of the middle. So x plus 3 squared, and if you FOIL this out, just to show you, right? X squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9. There we go. We're right back to where we wanted to be. Then over on the right, we've got 4y plus 8. Now for the parabola, I need this kind of 4a or 4p out front, right? So I need to just factor that out. 4y plus 2. I guess it worked out good. I thought it was going to be a little bit of a problem there with factoring that 4 out. And I'm actually going to just kind of mention what would happen if it was. I'm going to go back here and add a little bit here. Let's say it was 4y plus 7. Now it's not, right? It's 4y plus 8. But let's say it is 4y plus 7. I can't factor out the 4. But you still can. You still can. Let's do it. I'll show you. I put the 4 on the outside. 4 times what is 4y? Y. Now here's where it becomes tricky, but it still can be done. 4 times what is 7? Now it seems harder than it is. Put the 7 in there. Now when I want the 4 to go in there, I want the 4 to disappear. 7/4, right? So now when I take this 4 and I multiply it by 7/4, what do I get? I get 4 times 7/4, or 7. That's it. Same thing, right? So what happens is then this would be my answer if it was the 4/7, and I'd be able to take that as the 4p or 4a or whatever you want to call it. And now I can see my vertex, right? The -3, -7/4 as a vertex for this parabola versus up here, my vertex was -3, -2, right? And then my p or my a was 1, right? But that's how you complete the square.